Child raised by a single parent. The one thing I always wanted was an older brother. It wasn't until Ron's diagnosis that I realized that I had had one for over 40 years. I shared that with Ron, and though he said no man really ever wants to hear that from a woman, he was glad to have me as his little sister. Ron always had my back, from helping me get my bike pedals off when I was going on a bike trip in Scotland, to moving me several times, including to seminary in New York City. He kept me humble by busting my chops, which my husband loved to hear him do, but he also taught me that you can act like an idiot and still be loved. At our last goodbye, I thanked him for helping me to grow up. With that sly grin on his face, he told me that I didn't turn out too bad. Though we did not see a lot of each other since I moved to Rhode Island, I always appreciated knowing that he was there. It's only recently that I've come to accept, though some days I still don't, that he's no longer in this world. I find myself talking to him or imagining what he would say about this, that, or the other thing. Mostly, I think of him saying, "Haynes," and laughing. I loved him and miss him so very much. He was the best big brother anyone could wish for. And now I will say something because it was still my dad. He never could let anything go, ever. You did that one thing, and then you heard about it for the rest of your life. And when we took Sandy to seminary, I wanted to see the Empire State Building, because I had never seen the Empire State Building. And we got lost, as most people do, I imagine, in New York, because it's New York, it's New York. And every time we passed by and you could see it out the window, my dad would say, "Look, Amanda, it's the Empire State Building." And that continued every time we drove to Stowe. "Look, Amanda, it's the Empire State Building." Including the time that I was driving home, newly licensed, and he trusted me far too much to know where I was going, and the road split, and I was supposed to go this way, but I went that way, and we ended up on a bridge with the Empire State Building on the wrong side of the car. So even then, he pointed it out. "There it is, Amanda, the Empire State Building." It became such a thing that when I finally went to New York as an adult, and I went to the Empire State Building, I had to call him from the top and say, "Guess what, Dad? I'm at the Empire State Building." My dad was so wonderful. It's so hard to put into words what he meant to each one of us. My dad and I had a special relationship because I was his girl and he was my dad. And I'm so thankful for the time that I got to spend with him, even when he was sick, and it was hard watching him fall a little bit more every time I went out. And this day, 1 year ago, I was there with him. And I wasn't in the room because David and I were downstairs drinking coffee and telling hilarious stories about my dad. And I'm okay with that because I was there. And I got to hold his hand. And I will always treasure that.